Hi, how are you? Shame is one of the most destructive feelings in our lives. So, where does it come from? How can we get rid of it? And how can we support each other in relationship to get away from the areas of shame? That's what I wanted to talk to you about because this is something that I have been thinking about and I have been experiencing, and I have noticed how much it holds people back in their relationships and in their lives in general. But in this video, let's think about relationships. So, first of all, where does it come from? Well, do you remember when you were a child that you were ashamed of something? Like your body? I told you about the elderly man that was related to us that said every time he saw me that you have gained weight again. So yes, I was a little bit conscious about how I look and how much I weigh, and I have been all my life. Do you feel that you have something similar? In many people, it's about appearance. It might be about intelligence. So if you were told all your life, maybe in school, maybe in home, maybe in a workplace, that you are not the smartest type, so you feel a little bit ashamed. You feel that you are not good enough. You feel that you are not like everybody else, but something less. And that's the thing with shame. And one of the basics is also that you really can't help it. So if your appearance is a certain way, or if your head is a certain way and you are made to feel ashamed about it, there isn't anything you can do about it. So it's very different to say that you did that wrong. You, for example, put the books in the wrong place if you happen to work in a library. So, okay, I put them in the wrong place, but I can fix it. But if they say that these books are in the wrong place because you're an idiot, you cannot fix it. And we know the difference. But what when we start a relationship? Do you remember that you were ashamed of something, or you think that you might be ashamed of something? Like, for example, your appearance when you have less clothes on? I think that very many people feel ashamed about that. Maybe very, very many other things too, but that's something that I think is very common. Most people try to hide themselves more or less so they wouldn't be seen, and it makes no sense. But it's that kind of things that holds us back all the time. Like all the time. If we go on a holiday, how are we on a beach? If we go to a party, how do we look with our party costume? If we go to jog or a gym, how do we look? I'm too bulgy in here, or too much here and too little here. It's very typical. But what can we do? Well, first, we can make a deal, and this is of course something that you have to do with your spouse together, or at least set an example and hope that they will follow. So stop all shaming behavior. So do not say, I've heard this actually, my wife is chubby and stupid, but it's my wife, so I love her. But it's not a very nice thing to say, is it? I'm glad that he loves her, but it's not very nice anyway. So every time he says this, he reminds her that there is something wrong with her appearance and her intelligence, and she is something below him. But all this kind of a shaming behavior, and it really starts about if you have to say something, if you have to criticize, if you have to tell them to do something differently, then think that you will tell that to them in a form that they can make the thing better if they want to. So not you are stupid, but you did this thing wrong, in my opinion. For example, you folded towels the wrong way. So then you can discuss what is the right way. But not say something that is like overall. So you're stupid, your appearance is bad, and that kind of things that you cannot change, even they were small. Like somebody's laughter. This is something that I've heard like numerous times, that you have weird laughter, or you laugh loud or too loud. Those are shaming things to say. And the message is that you are not good enough. You should like make yourself smaller and make yourself to be more silent. But that is not a way to be in a relationship. Not if you want to be in a good relationship and not in competing this kind of tragedy and drama all the time. And those relationships are really tiring. I think that if you are in a relationship with someone, you should try to get the atmosphere so you support each other, that you feel good, that you feel better because you have each other than if you wouldn't have. So stop all shaming behavior and discuss, what are you ashamed of? Are you ashamed of something? Are you ashamed of your appearance when you have less clothing on? And tell them that it's okay, it's their appearance. It doesn't matter. You should love the person, not the outside. Of course you can love the outside too, but what's more important? So pay compliments to each other and do not say nasty things, do not say negative things about the things that the other one cannot change or shouldn't change. So if they laugh loud, then they just laugh loud and you can enjoy the laughter. But there is so much this shaming behavior in our society. There are different kind of shaming for women and different kind of shaming for men. Women are, I think that both sexes are now ashamed about appearance more than before. Before it was only for women. Women had to be slim and pretty and appear as a young woman, appear as a mother, appear as a mature old lady, depending on how old they were and what were their position. But if you are an old lady, you shouldn't look like a young girl, and if you are a mother, you shouldn't look like a woman. So those have been traditionally the things for women. But of course there are things for men too, and of course women have to be modest, and they have to be silent, and they have to be agreeable, and they have to be smiling and happy and bring joy and serve others. Otherwise they would have been unfit to be a woman, unfit to be a mother, unfit to be a wife. And unfit to be something is so broad that you cannot change yourself to be what they want you to be. But this has been the overall atmosphere to make women feel smaller. So they would be a little bit ashamed of them all the time. And of course, I understand there are this kind of shaming things for men too. And they are a pretty heavy burden. So you should be a good husband. You should keep control of your wife. So you are not responsible just for your own behavior, but the behavior of your wife and the behavior of your children. If you are a good husband, you will set them a control so they will behave great. And of course you should provide for your family shelter and food, and you should know. And this is one thing that I think that is most disturbing for men, especially Of course, when men are young, they usually think they know everything, although we all know that they don't. They themselves know it too, but they just forget it for a couple of decades. And then when they are older, they should know. So everything that is asked, everything that has to be decided, they should know and they should decide. And they should succeed with what they decide. And that's not any more possible for men than it is for women. So it's not fair to make this kind of burden. So if anything goes wrong in this kind of financial matter, it's the men that get the blame. And you necessarily cannot do anything about it. So that is the burden that this society lays on men. And of course now it's added that they should be good fathers, like taking care of babies, which is not very easy. And it's not very natural for everybody, but it adds to the burden. And if you are a mother in a family with small children, you can shame your husband anytime about taking care of children, because there is always something that they missed, that they didn't know, that they did wrong, and the children suffered, even with the small, like, red buttocks. But it's just not very nice behavior. And I know that some people use this as a weapon. So they blame their husbands everything that goes wrong with the kid. So if they try to be a father, they always shame them because they can't. And that's the other thing with shame. When you are shamed, you stop trying. So if you are ashamed of your appearance, you try to get better and slimmer and fitter. But when you are shamed enough, you stop. You think that what the heck? Why should I even try? I was born to fail with this. And that's the worst thing of shame. And if you are in a relationship and you think that you are not good enough a husband or good enough wife, then you stop trying. And when you are in a relationship, it shouldn't require that much trying. If you are yourself and if you think that the best thing for you is to be together, then it's easy. It's not trying, it's just living. Do you think that there is something positive in shaming? If you think, please comment down below. What's the appropriate use of shaming? Honestly, I think that there are none. I know that the generation of my father and my mother thought that by shaming children, it's beneficial for them to not get too proud and too cocky and too self-reliant. But they should be ashamed so that they can be prepared for all the hard things and all misery that life brings to them. Not necessarily that you don't have to look for it or you don't have to fight for it, you don't have to do anything, but things will go badly, and yes, they will. But does it help if I already wait for it or feel ashamed of myself? No. It just takes the border very much closer to me when I stop trying. And we shouldn't stop trying. So, talk about it with your spouse, partner, significant other. Talk about where is the basis of your shame. What have you been ashamed of all your life in one form or another? And in the beginning, make a pact that you do not laugh, you do not continue this shaming, you will never weaponize the things that your spouse tells you. So you don't never poke back for that. And after that thing, is the shame like in place? Or is it just something from the head of a bitter old man or a woman, and try to get together away from the shame and rehearse these things. So if it's appearance, think how you can make yourself look pretty in your own eyes, or handsome in your own eyes. What's the thing? And then do that. And encourage each other and support each other. And realize that shame is just one feeling that you can get rid of if you want to. And that your home is a safe space for both of you. So there is no shame, just support and acceptance. And then you can both be who you are without feeling ashamed what you are. And that's one of the most important things in our lives. Not just in relationships, but in our lives in general. So I hope that helps. And I hope to see you soon. Goodbye.